Hey, so this week I have been busy digging into all things pages with my Kajabi Kickstart folks, and I have the sales page workshop coming up. So I thought you might like to hear some of the secrets around having really good pages as a course creator. Let's get to it.
Welcome to the Course Creators HQ podcast, helping you navigate the latest techniques for creating and marketing online courses. And now, here's your host, Julie Hood.
So, hello. So glad you are here for episode 108. And oh my goodness, we got so much good stuff going on right now. And I wanted to share some of these secrets with you because you're so good about listening to this podcast. I really appreciate it. And so a couple different things that we've got going on that are affecting this. The first one is I have a sales page workshop happening on Saturday. And it's one of my favorite courses to do with y'all. I got to be honest, because it takes a really complicated subject and I have simplified it down the best I can. So I love to teach it. So if you're trying to get a sales page created, and we're going to talk about what that means today, please consider joining me on Saturday. I'll put the link in the show notes. And then the other thing that's happening that's making this top of mind is we are deep in the middle of the Kajabi Kickstart folks and getting them set up on Kajabi. And so we're talking about pages, which ones they should have and what should be on them. So I thought some of that could be helpful for you too today. And the last thing I will mention, there's just so much going on. Kajabi's a 3-month special where you can get 3 months for $99 ends on August 31st, 2022. So if you're even a little bit interested, make sure you catch the link in the show notes and go jump on that. They very rarely offer this. So it's one of those things like when you see it, if you're interested, if you want to just kind of play around and try it out, you really want to jump on it. It is one of my favorite platforms. So make sure you don't miss out on this special offer. All right. So back to the scoop today, the pages. And there's so many different types of website pages that you could use. And I want to talk about the differences and how you should be using them for your particular online course business, and just understanding the lay of the land can make it so much easier as you're trying to figure out what is it that I need to be creating and where am I putting all of these things. So let me just give you some of the different pages that should be in your world, and then we can talk about how you create them and how they work together. So obviously the first one is your homepage. And this is the homepage for your website. And I kind of like to think of this one as going to that buffet restaurant. You know, those restaurants where you go in and like there's mounds and mounds of all kinds of different types of food, and you can get a little overwhelmed because there's so much to go look at and consider eating. So this is sort of what your homepage turns into. It's not real great for getting people to convert necessarily because it's got so many things going on. You've got your menu, you probably have some Optin things that you're doing, you might be talking about your courses and your services, and so there's just a lot on the homepage, and people expect that. You know, they go there and they know that they're going to get introduced to you and have a lot of things to check out and find out about you. So it's not perfect for getting people to take action, but it is really good for giving them this overview of who you are. So, you know, when you go to the smorgasbord restaurant, you know that that's the experience you're going to have. And then the second type of page that I like to talk about is more of a landing page. And the way landing pages are different is that they are more like, let me tell you about it. Okay, so my daughter has a favorite restaurant, and I don't know if it's nationwide. It might just be regional, but it's called Cane's. And Cane's only has chicken strips. That's all they sell. They have a couple different options for your chicken strips, but all they sell is chicken strips. And that's kind of how I think about landing pages, because they have one purpose, they do one thing, and when somebody gets to them, typically the response to landing pages is a yes or no kind of response. Either they're interested or they're not interested, and that's how you want it to be. So when I think of landing pages, I'll give you a little bit more context here. Those can be all kinds of different types of pages. They might be sales pages. They might be opt-in pages. They are someplace where you are sending someone to answer a yes, I'm interested, or a no, I'm not interested kind of question. So it could be buying your course, or it might just be opting in for your freebie. But the thing that makes landing pages different is they're very, very focused, and they don't have a lot of menus or different places to click. Basically, you have the button that you want people to click on, and maybe you have several of them throughout the page, but that's really the main option. It's not like there's a big menu at the top where they can get distracted and go click away and disappear on you. It's this one page where you're talking about one thing that you want them to do, and they get to decide yes or no if they want to do it. So just like when we go to Cane's, we know we're getting chicken strips, and that's what we're getting. So the different types of landing pages, though, there are different types. So sometimes you'll hear people talk about sales pages. So those are the ones where you're trying to sell your course. Or they may talk about opt-in pages. Sometimes they're called squeeze pages. And those are where you're trying to get people to give you their email address in exchange for some kind of free offer, lead magnet, something you're giving them. And that's also another type of landing page. And then similarly, people may call these opt-in pages, sometimes they call them squeeze pages, which I never really liked that name, but the concept was that you were squeezing an email address out of someone. So those are the different types of landing pages, and I did do an episode in the past about landing pages, so it was an early one, episode 15. I will link to it in the show notes if you want to dig in a little bit more into landing pages and kind of the more details about that. And so then you probably also need thank you pages. So those are the pages like, okay, I sign up for your course, I say yes, I fill out the checkout form, and then where do you send me? So it's a thank you page for signing up. Or they opt in for your free offer, and you need to take them to a thank you page where you explain like, okay, your freebie is coming, go check your email. So those can be really valuable places and pages. And now that I'm thinking about it, I need to go fix a lot of my thank you pages because they're kind of generic. I was in a hurry. I wanted to make them fast and quick to get set up, but it's very valuable real estate because you've got the interest of the folks who have come and signed up and said yes. So use that real estate well. And then here are a couple other pages that typically come up. So an About Me page, lots and lots of people check your About Me page. Like they want to know about you. So that's a place that makes it really simple to go up and click on and just get to know, like, who is this person that I've come across? And then you probably have a page that has some kind of store on it. So this could be a list of your courses. When you get started, it might just be your first course that you're offering. That's great, but some place that is a page where you talk about what you offer. And then a contact page. And this one I really want you to have because sometimes people want to follow up with you. They have questions about what you're doing. They have questions about your course. So have a way for them to contact you. Now, I don't like putting your email address on those pages, and here's why. The spammers like to go out and they scrape pages. And when they do that, they pull your email address and then they've got a hold of it and they start using it for all kinds of terrible things. So don't physically put your email address on there. What I have started doing is linking to Facebook Messenger. So that helps in a couple different ways, in that the people have to have Facebook accounts. And I do, I am saying, like, if you want to work with me, you probably need to have a Facebook account. But that way, it gives me a little extra protection, because Facebook is making sure those are legitimate accounts most of the time. And then they can contact me on Facebook that way. And then you might have, this one is not required, but some people will have a blog page where they have all their blog posts, and sometimes that's a separate page. Definitely not required, but that could be a separate page that you're working on. And then, so you can see the other piece of this is related to creating your whole course, which is kind of separate from just your website. But let's talk about the course a little bit. What kind of pages would you need for that? So you'll need that sales page to sell it, where you talk about the course and you explain how much it is and sell it to the person who's reading, getting them on board with you. You'll need that thank you page once they've signed up. And then you'll want an introduction page when somebody has actually purchased and they're logged in and you're delivering the course. You'll have an introduction page. And then you'll have all your lesson pages. So usually each lesson ends up on a different page. So you could see how your course ends up as a combination of all of these different types of pages. But the more you can kind of have a list in your head of like, okay, what is the purpose of these different pages and how am I using them? And, oh yeah, I need to don't forget that thank you page. So I hope that kind of gives you an overall feeling for how some of these different things could work together. I do have another episode if you're wondering more about sales pages. It's episode 59, and I will put that in the show notes too. So if you're working on a course and you're trying to figure out, how do I put a sales page together, it's got some good ideas for you to help with that. And then I want to wrap up this episode talking about some of the different tools that you use to create these pages. So depending on really what kind of software you're using, it will control what types of pages you can create and how you can pull all of this together. And a lot of them are really overlapping. So you have to dig a little to see like which software is going to do what here. So let me start with WordPress, because that's what I use for my the Course Creators HQ website. So it will create all kinds of pages and all, especially depending on the theme that I'm using, I can create all different types of pages on there. I could even put my courses on there, but I haven't. And if you want to go back, I have an episode about why I dumped the latest project that I'm working on and why I decided not to do it on WordPress. So I will link to that one in the show notes too if you're thinking about WordPress. But what it does do really well, I will say, is WordPress gives you lots of flexibility. It's really good for search engine optimization when you set it up correctly. And so it's a great place to do really general kind of web pages and set up a website. Then another option for website pages is some kind of all-in-one type of hosting tool. So just because I'm deep in the middle of this one, it isn't the only one, but Kajabi will also do a website for you. It also does your blog. It will also host your courses and your sales pages and your landing pages. And that's one of the reasons I like it so much, is because you can have all of these pages and all the things that people do with them all in one spot. So that in one tool, and you don't have to be sending data back and forth. So those all-in-one kind of tools can do all of these different pages for you. And then another one I will share with you is leadpagesonline.com. This is one I have had for years and years and years. And that's part of the reason I still have it. Not so much because I can't do it anywhere else, but just because when it came out, it was an incredible leader in the industry, made creating these pages so much easier than it used to be. And so I have I don't know, probably hundreds of pages on there, and I haven't wanted to move them. But I will tell you a couple different things that I really like about Lead Pages is that it lets you have this drag and drop kind of editor that's really straightforward. They have a lot of really good templates for you, so you can start with a template already and then just edit it and add in your information. They've also added some features for doing website pages in particular, so you could use it to create a website on there. The one thing it doesn't do, if you're really seriously thinking about blogging, I don't think it's the right tool for blogging because it's not set up for that, really. So, but the rest of the pages could all pretty much be done in Lead Pages, and it's an inexpensive kind of solution. You technically could even do small courses on there, but what it doesn't have is a way to control access. So it's not like it's set up to give people a login or any of that. You could create some pages and just share them if you're not as concerned about keeping people out and that whole access thing. You know, you could do some mini courses, or you could do some things through there. And in fact, when I do my topic entitled challenge, because it was so fast to set up pages on there, I created those in all those pages in Lead Pages. So, all right. And just go check out which tools you're using, because some of them will do some of these pages. Like, for example, ConvertKit, I know, will do opt-in pages for you. It will do thank you pages for you. It can do some simple sales pages for you even, because I know you can use their creator tools to actually sell things through ConvertKit. So you just kind of want to go dig into your help files for whatever tools that you have and see which of these pages that they can create for you. And you may end up with some overlap, you know, having tools that will do more than one thing. And, you know, tools that this tool will do a landing page and an opt-in page. This tool will do a landing page and an opt-in page. Like, I have 3 or 4 that can all do those opt-in pages for me. And my one suggestion for you is to pick one that you typically use and get to know it really well and get fast at it and put all of them there so that you're not having to go back and be like, where did I create that page? Which tool did I use? And having to waste a lot of time looking around and trying to find it. So the last tip I will give for you is, especially at the beginning as you're growing, make a list of these pages and create a Google sheet with the list of your pages and with the links to your pages, and have that be your master sheet, so that if you get to some place where you're trying to figure out, oh, I need to share my About Me page with this project that I'm working on, then you can just go to that link, go share it, and that will help you keep track of where everything is. Because initially when you get started, you know, it's 4 or 5 or under 10 pages, it's not so bad. Then when you get to where you've really jumped into this and you've got hundreds and hundreds of pages, it does become an issue. I'm working with one of my clients this week, and we're trying to figure out, you know, where are all these pages and how do we go change them and correct them and fix it and where are they being used. So just kind of start that list right now here at the beginning, even though it doesn't necessarily seem important at the moment. When you get bigger, that will be really, really helpful to have that. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it gave you some insight and some thoughts about your pages and how you could use them to build your business, how your folks that are connecting with you are also using them. And come join us on Saturday for the Sales Page Design Workshop. It's a Saturday, August the 20th, 2022, and would love to have you, because we're going to dig into all things deep on creating your sales pages and make it super simple for you. A lot of people can get lost, and I have this 17 steps kind of little template, and we just keep it super easy. Plus all the suggestions for phrases and wording. So would love to have you there. Hope you can come. The link is in the show notes. And have a fantastic, amazing week. Keep an eye out on Clubhouse. I will probably do a follow-up room on there. I had fun this week. We did a follow-up room to last week's episode, and it was really fun to get to talk to people more about this topic. So keep an eye on Clubhouse for that. And I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for listening and following and subscribing and reviewing. You're the best. And I hope your course creation business is thriving. Thanks for being here.